What's going on, YouTube community? Coming at you guys with a real quick jungle Karthus guide, showing you guys how to easily climb with the jungle Karthus. So let's go ahead and get straight into the action. For the rune setup, we're going to be running Dark Harvest with the Ultimate Hunter, I believe Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, and then secondary we're going to go Precision with Presence of Mind and Last Stand, I believe. So we are going to be going for the team fights into the mid and late game. In the early games, we're just going to be full clearing and hitting ganks where we can. So what you're going to be wanting to do with these first couple camps is just kiting and casting Qs how you can. And then on the AO camps, you want to use your E. When you have blue buff, you can pretty much use E as you pretty freely. You can kind of spam it there a little bit for a little bit of extra damage. Just make sure you're kiting the camps, because if you do tank the camps, you will not be able to gank. And that's kind of important, because you'll see why. Now, this point in the clear, you don't want to be too low health, okay? You want to be at least around half health here. So decent little 3-minute, 20-second clear with decent amount, a little bit of health here, and a level 4. So we're gonna come straight down in here to the bot lane. We do ping ahead, always ping ahead, and we're just gonna hit a crazy slow lined up with our Nautilus CC. We're gonna slow both of them, and we're just gonna run them down with the Qs and the E, okay? And we're gonna get the obviously we're gonna help push this wave so we can get the crash, so Jinx can get the crash, and we can deny more CS from the enemy AD carry. We do throw down that W there. We're gonna get vision all the way of the scuttle and the bush with that W, so pretty huge. Just know that with the Karthus W, you need to get the edge of it in the bush if you want the bush vision. The edge of the gate, the slow gate, has to be in the bush. So if you need to do special binding for regular or normal cast, like shift W, a lot of people do for normal cast. They set their smart cast on the regulars, and then shift Q, shift W, shift E can all be normal cast if you want to do normal cast. That's how I've got my setup. If I really have to get vision of a bush, I will shift W and make sure the edge of it is in the bush. So we're going to come back up here, check on the top scuttle. So you can see that we were able to sequence up a gank into scuttle, into mid gank, into checking on the top scuttle, which he, just to make sure he had taken it, which he had not. So we go ahead and grab that as well. It's important to check on that top scuttle. If it would have been taken, we might have sequenced down here. Who knows? If these camps weren't up, we might have just recalled. Or if there's a top gank, we do that. So in that opportunity, we knew that our gank pick got ganked and that Malphite was really low. We went up and checked this bush. He just happened to be greed recalling, and we ended up cleaning him up. And we're just gonna, we have these camps up, so we're gonna come back down and we're just gonna continue sequencing. We have the mana, and we have the health to get it done. So obviously don't get executed by camps. You know, if you feel like you can't take the camp, you probably can't. So just hit a recall. Don't worry about it if you have to. But if you can sequence your camps, this is going to be one of the most important things that I'm going to talk about, is getting your camps on cooldown. Getting your camps on cooldown is very, very important, because if not, you're going to hit a point where if there's no ganks and there's no camps, what are you going to do? You're going to do nothing, and you're going to get nothing out of it, okay? So making sure your camps go on cooldown so that they respawn quickly and you get those CS numbers, the steady XP, the guaranteed XP and gold, is what's going to give you consistency between games, okay? So our bot lane does get ganked pretty hard. We're not able to get there in time to counter gank, so we're just going to come down here. We know Katarina is about to dive that, so we do dodge out the ult And Ezreal stays under tower. We end up cleaning him, and then GP ults, and we get a double cleanup. So well worth it. You know, it was technically a 3 for 2, I believe, but it was if you just consider what I did, it was a 1 for 2. So me and GP cleaned up really nice there. Kind of flipped the fight and made it kind of decent. So we do hit a recall. We're gonna come straight up to here. So after you recall, you're gonna wanna, your clears need to be in a straight line. So you can see I just really want this blue. You need to secure your blue obviously before it gets stolen. Very important on Karthus. So we are gonna go up here even though there's not any extra camps we can take. Normally, if there's just one camp on the top side, you might not want to do that, but this is the blue we're talking about, so very important. Scuttle is up. We're gonna check on that. We're gonna clear that. Little tip with the scuttle, just try to get it going in one direction and just chase it and make sure it's just going to stay in that same direction. Just spam Q on it. If the scuttle squiggles around a lot, it can be pretty impossible to take with Karthus. So make sure you can just get it going in a straight line. And then this was extremely lucky that Cat basically just led us straight to the dragon. That guy would have 100% been able to sneak that drag. But yeah, very fortunate. So here we're just gonna go in and you need to have confidence when you're playing with Karthus. You need to know that you are hitting your Qs because that's what we do. A lot of time most people would have backed off there, but I know that Jinx is here basically ready to come up with the flank angle. We still have Zed ready to go. And then we end up getting a double kill, okay? So absolutely huge snowballing start we have going on here. We're already sitting on a lost chapter in a Fiendish. And actually did calculate that Lux died to the Dark Harvest on that ult there. So really close. You know, wasn't sure if I was going to get her at all, but you know, sometimes you just gotta run it, you know? Sometimes you just gotta run it. And when you're snowballing this hard and you have such a high amount of early AP and several Dark Harvest stacks, I've got 7, you can sometimes go for those. So just be wary of that. We thought about clearing mid here. Probably would have been the move. You know, looking back at it, because there's no one near mid to stop us from crashing that. We could have just crashed that, went wolves, golems, but I wasn't sure where, you know, where everyone, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't watching good enough, but just get CS where you can. Obviously, your goal is to try to out CS and just get, you know, a good KDA early on. Don't feed and don't get invaded. Another tip I forgot to mention is on your first clear, when you're coming down here, you want to ward right here in this bush when you're taking the red. You can probably walk up to here, ward this bush, because that's where you're going to get invaded, and that's where you're most vulnerable in your first clear. So if you do ward that bush, you're pretty much immune to those ganks. So we're just going to do a nice little rift clear. You can stand in the pixel bush and really strong on Karthus, because you're probably going to be low health when you're doing this, but if you stand in that pixel bush, they're not really going to know. Plus, you're a mage, so you're really vulnerable if they can see you and just jump on you. But you know, who knows how many people, they don't know how many people are in that bush. They don't know what your health's like, what your mana's like. They don't know anything when you're in there. So pretty fun trick to do. I was pinging Nasus here because I felt like if he would have queued there, and his ult was just a terrible position, but if he would have ult queued and then my ult goes off, that was a kill, I believe, but didn't get the Q off in time really, and the ult positioning wasn't key, but it's okay. You never want to tilt at all. Number one thing is for climbing is mental. Number one thing. You can be the greatest player, but if you don't have good mental, you're still not going to climb. It's just the facts. Like, as sad as it is, that's just how it is. So we do get solo ulted, kind of unfortunate, but getting that on cooldown is pretty huge. Wish we had the ult there. So when you die, you can basically, what you want to do is you want to cast 3 Qs very quickly and then ult. Once you get your Leandries, you have enough ability haste to kind of do those 3 Qs more leisurely. You might even fit in a 4th Q if you're doing really fast. But like I said, 3 Qs, general standard rule. You can get always get 3 Qs and then ult. So just a little Karthus tip. So again, we're gonna start rolling on down here. I believe our plan was just to continue sequencing. Maybe actually we were looking for that gank, but always just want to start on one side or the other and sequence in a straight line. Okay, really important on Karthus because you're basically going to be full clearing all the time, so getting it all sequenced together is really key. Yeah, the reason that I say you're full clear is because on Karth, one of the main advantages, you don't really have to be there to gank, right? So full clearing, getting the sequencing above the enemy jungle, like, you know, you're just going to be out farming him and you still have a presence on the map with your ultimate. So really kind of a sick comp we have going on here with the GP and the Karth ult double global. A lot of your low ELO teams are not gonna be ready for those double global ults. You know, every fight if you think about it, every fight they take needs to be really won. Like, it needs to be a really guarantee thing, because if not, you have a Karth and a GP ult coming in, and then it's GG. Okay. But you can see later on here that the real strength from Karthus comes in the team fighting, suiciding gameplay. And I'll show you guys what I mean here in a little bit once we get a team fight going. But you're basically, what you're going to be doing is just activating your E, walking up, you know, exhausting somebody, you know, throwing your slow on, just getting a bunch of slows going, getting in there. If you have flash, you can flash in, getting into the choke points, like here, you know, and stuff, getting into the choke points with your E up, queuing everybody, and then Zanya is right before you die, and then another Q, die, 3 more Qs, ult, and you're gonna win that fight. Okay, that's just how Karthus works. Not sure why he pinked there, but we are gonna. Not sure why he flashed there either, but that's okay. We are gonna kill that, and Nautilus is gonna hit a sick hook here. Just use your W with CC. If you know if your team is going to be CCing the enemy, save your W for when they get knocked up or whatever, and then just drop it straight on them. Guarantee that stuff, you know what I mean? Looking back at that fight, I feel like maybe we should probably went for the double. Lux was really low. We could have maybe walked up, queued her, and then, you know, we risked dying to Ezreal and Lux there, but kind of always want to be pushing your luck with this in low yellow, because even if you die, all that really costs you is 30 seconds of being up. You know, yes, it gives the enemy 1 kill, but are you gonna have to do, like, that's just the 1 kill for the enemy. You're not necessarily gonna have to deal with that, and they're not necessarily gonna be good enough to do anything with that farm. Okay, this is low yellow we're talking about. Think about it like this: if you're a good player, each kill on you is worth 2 kills. Okay, If you're that good, you know. If you're semi good, maybe each kill on you is worth 1.5. But if you're really confident, you really feel like you're above your current ELO, just consider each kill worth 2 kills on yourself. Okay. So if you go for a 2 for 1, 2 of you die and you get the 1 kill, that's basically even. Okay, because you're going to be doing more with the farm that you get than anyone else is. Okay, just think about it like that. So we do go for the team fight here. Kind of a bad one. It's rough when you're going against a Malphite. It's rough when you're going against a Morgana. People who can like stop you from moving are I would say the best counters to Karthus. Because in team fighting, when you're really supposed to be shining, a Morgana snare and a pool will just ruin your day. So where are we? We're spawning. Just be wary of that. If you're going against a Lux, Morgana, with a Seraphine, you need to come into fights either on a flank angle or extra late. I like to do flank angles and just flash their CC. Best thing you can do. Just get on top of them in team fights, land some Qs with your E up, get that E damage going. And because you're running last stand, when you're low and you have that E going, you Zanyas, you're getting full last stand value, and then you die, you still get full last stand value for all 3 Qs and your ultimate. So that's why we take last stand. You get absolutely insane value, and we're going for the inting team fighting strat, so it just makes sense. Now if you're going for a strategy where you absolutely never show up on the map, which I don't recommend, then maybe coup de grace is better, because you're actually not dying, you're actually not getting low. But for what I would recommend is last stand and to get in there and chat with the team fights, because you're not going to be carrying games unless you do this. Now you can see with this strategy, I'm already 10-3 and 10 with 165 farm at 20. If you're beating that with your strategy, go ahead and do it. But if not, clearly what I'm doing here works out. So we do go for Leandries into Shadow Flame into Zanyas. What you can do is, a lot of people will get the Zanyas second. You can do that if you're against a lot of melees or a lot of bursty assassins, maybe that can get on you quickly and burst you down. Just mostly, if you're just look at their composition. Their composition is a Lux, Ezreal, Malphite, and Nasus and Katarina. So kind of bursty, but they have a range support, and she has a snare. So it's kind of better that we get the Shadow Flame, because she's going to be shielding people when they're low, first of all. Second of all, you know, what's the point of a Zanyas if you Zanyas and you're not getting E damage because they're all far away, and you got or you got snared in a bad position where there's no enemies, and you get bursted down. So obviously Shadow Flame is going to be better in that situation. So we got Shadow Flame second, and then Zanyas third. Now if we were against a Kha'Zix and a Zed and another melee like a Viego, or I don't know, Viego, Zanyas second, absolutely, because they're just gonna be all hopping on you. You're gonna bait them with the Zon. That E damage is gonna tick on all of them because they want to finish you. They all want the kill, and then you're just gonna clean up. You're gonna kill everybody, okay? But we are going into the Death Cap next, and then we're gonna finish the last item. It's gonna be Void. And even after Void stat, you can even sell your items for Cosmic Drive, or sell your boots for Cosmic Drive in super late game if you really have to. Cosmic Drive gives a little bit of move speed, so it's not too bad. and you get that extra AP, which is going to scale with your death cap, which is going to be absolutely huge. So in this team fight, you can kind of see what we mean by the inting team fight strategy. Because, watch us, we dodge out the snare, which is absolutely huge. Once you dodge that snare, get deep. That's your chance to get deep. You can see we walked all the way here. We basically inted straight into the Ezreal, right? Or did we? Because we Zanya's in the choke point. We didn't allow anybody right here to get out. They die. And then Malphite was trying to cheese. We Q'd him twice and ulted him. He dies. It just leads to good things, okay? It gives you vision of the enemies. It gives you control over the choke point. And you just nail massive damage into the enemy. And this is how you're going to win those fights. This is how you're going to win this game. It's not necessarily a low kill playstyle, but it's a high kill. It's not a low death playstyle, but it's a high kill playstyle. And it's a high gold playstyle. And it's what's going to give you more gold than your allies. So you can see we had 15k. You know, only person matching us was GP because he was absolutely insane mechanically. And you don't even need insane mechanics to play Karthus. You just need to get good with the Qs. That's it. Land the Qs. And there's tricks to that. When you'll understand tricks to that as you go, and it's kind of you kind of just Q move, kite, either kiting or engaging. Q move. You continue to do that. You will land your Qs and you will get where you want to go, either deep into the fight or the hell out. Either way, hope you guys enjoy this guide. Hope you guys get some free LP from this. Karthus Jungle with Smite Exhaust. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe. Take it easy out there. Stay safe on the Rift. Make sure you dodge those trolls. And have a good one. Bye, guys.